The scariest part of any presentation, to my mind at least, is the question and answer period at the end. This is so scary because it harkens back to some childhood memory of being quizzed in front of the class. Now's the chance to find out what you really don't know. Honestly, no one knows everything. So don't go into the question and answer period as a game of true or false. Instead, think of it as a chance to continue the discussion of the presentation with the audience. Think of it as a chance to build community. The only way you can get a question truly wrong is not to listen to it. That is, one of our survival reactions is to shut down, not to listen, and to think about how to escape the situation. You've got to fight that by focusing on the speaker's question. So listen. Look for a keyword that you can really nail down. If you can't understand the question, or if you haven't been listening, ask the speaker to repeat the question. Be respectful. Now, I've been through a lot of question and answer sessions. Some of them I've handled well, some less so. But I can think of four techniques that really help. And before going on about questions and answers abstractly, I'd like to nail down those four techniques. The first is ask the speaker's name. Asking the speaker's name will humanize the interaction and will also allow you to pair the question with a person so that later you can refer to that person and come back to their question. Second, say the phrase, "That's an interesting question," or "Fascinating," and smile broadly. By doing that, you'll put yourself forward instead of being in a retreating position, and you'll ultimately flatter the person. Even if it's a hostile question, that will help. Third, since the question is a chance to respond and elaborate, don't be afraid to think. I mean that quite seriously. When you're in front of a group, feel free to think. I've sat fascinated as a person thought through a question either silently or out loud. This goes back to one of the first rules of the course. This is a course about storytelling, and people want to watch people. So remember, you're on stage, and if you think through smartly a question, and you really look like you're concentrating, people will be fascinated. Lastly, pulling ideas together will be very effective. So if you can remember the key words of a number of questions and begin to synthesize them towards the end of the Q&A period, you'll be in charge of the room. Overall, the point of the question and answer period is not simply to answer questions right or wrong. It's to build a community that coalesces with your brand.